Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Spyro for Year of the Dragon Part 3. Finally going to the Sunnyville level. This is a level that most people probably consider to be the first level of the game, mostly because the first level people typically play when they play this game because it's located closest to the beginning of the game. Only if, in my case, it wasn't the first level because I did the Cloud Spires, and I did Sheila's level first. This was the first level I've ever played when I first played this game way back in 2012 when I finally got a copy of this game. This level looks like it's set in ancient Rome or ancient Greece. There's like ancient Greek-looking architecture everywhere, and we have these Rhinocs that dress like Roman warriors with those brush things on their heads that look like they're going to be cleaning up stuff or brushing stuff. They're armed with their almighty shields, which do absolutely nothing. Spyro could charge them down easy. They're not even fireproof. The Spyro could flame them down easy with his flame breath. They don't really do much at all against Spyro. Nothing is too challenging for Spyro. You can just pick up, you just pretty much fry or flame or charge down most enemies, except for the large enemies. Even the large enemies aren't that tough. I think they made this level all kind of easy on purpose because it's a level they probably figured most people would play first. That's probably why they gave Sheila her own segment of this level, thinking that people would play this first and they wouldn't be able to know about Sheila yet. So they thought we have to unlock Sheila, so you have to go to another level. Like it's introducing the concept of backtracking in this game. There was a lot of backtracking required in this game. Only I was clever with this one, so I managed to complete this level 100% complete without backtracking thanks to playing Sheila's level first. There's those guys running around that they don't really know what to do. He's not really an enemy. He technically is an enemy. You do get gems for killing enemies in this game like you did in the first game when you got gems. There's no spirit particles in this game. And look at this, enemies just run into each other. Sometimes enemies hit each other and kill each other or something like that. Kind of like in Ratchet and Clank. All these enemies look like primitive Ratchet and Clank enemies. There's a large Rhinoc. There's a large club he's going to use to club us into the ground with. And there's those ones there we could charge into them and get some gems. There's some red gems off of them, which are only worth 1 gem. Most enemies seem to only give you like red gems. Look, there's an egg that's hiding out in the middle of the open. I wonder how delicate these eggs are. These eggs actually must be pretty strong considering a lot of stuff they go for. They get smashed around a lot. They get like thrown into things a lot throughout the course of this game. So the fact that eggs could go for all that, these eggs must be really durable, so I don't think we have anything to worry about in terms of these eggs getting destroyed. The only real threat to them is a sorceress, and yet somehow they got scattered everywhere. I wonder how, actually, I kind of know sorceress, or some of them that scattered all the eggs around here somehow. So like some way they get scattered around, kind of like how the orbs got scattered around in Spyro too. Let's use this whirlwind to get up here so you get a nice view of the entire ancient Greek or Roman landscape. This makes me think of that time when I was in the 9th grade and we constantly learned about ancient Greece a lot. And we learned about like ancient Greek literature and what the ancient Greeks believed in, what their places looked like. Then we watched that movie Odysseus, the movie about it's called Odyssey. It's about a guy named Odysseus, and that's where the whole story of like the Trojan horse comes from and all that stuff. And then I remember a lot of kids, I don't think anyone actually got interested in ancient Greece over it. I was never the biggest fan. Actually, I kind of was a bigger fan of ancient Greece than most other kids in the class. But then again, most kids in that class didn't really like anything taught in that class. It was just a simple obligation to them. And I learned more about ancient Greece in that one English class I otherwise did in any history class I've ever been in. That's how great ancient Greece is, I guess. And this level, and I guess that was around the time I got this game. So I actually finished that class just a little bit before I got this game, so this game makes me think of a lot of the ancient Greece. That's probably why I associate this level mostly with ancient Greece. It also makes me think of when I would drive by a restaurant when I'd be going off to a nearby city, and I'd go by this restaurant that was called Socrates. I used to like to jokingly call it Socrates, which is a reference to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. They had Socrates, the great philosopher. Maybe that's what they meant to call the restaurant, Socrates. That would fit a restaurant perfectly since they get food shipments in. They probably come in crates that they have to bring and pile in. This is that segment where we go and find Sheila, and Sheila's gonna do more of her jumping or elaborate jumping or high jumping and her kicking and all that stuff she could do. Or kicking and screaming, high jumping and flying around and stuff. I remember there was a movie that starred Will Ferrell, I think that was called Kicking and Screaming. I remember breaking my knees laughing at that movie. I used to break my knees all the time laughing at stuff. I broke my knees the first time I watched the Robin Williams movie Jack. That movie genuinely made me laugh harder than any other Robin Williams movie I've ever seen. People seem to hate that movie, and yet I'm the only one that seems to like it, which is why I bought a DVD copy of that movie. And yet I often forget I have a DVD copy of that movie because I bought it like 10 years ago and I only ever watched it like once, I think. Like once, not actually bought it, I can't remember when I bought it, but I remember I only watched it like once or twice and I forgot that I had it. I probably should visit it again soon. It was a pretty funny movie, I think. I really laughed at the part where Robin Williams trying to come up with a story for why he's the principal rather than Principal McGee, and then he said, he had diarrhea, yeah, that's why I can't be the principal right now, because he had diarrhea, and since then he had the squirt shortly afterwards, too. I remember that the principal of that movie was also in the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that same teacher I just spoke of that taught this class about ancient Greece also was a fan of the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer. Because some kid in the class used to only speak in that guy from Austin Powers. That guy from Austin Powers, Fat Bastard. He used to speak in quotes from him all the time too. Where it's like, on top of spaghetti, all covered in cheese, I drop my poor meatball. I don't remember eating any corn. He used to say that a lot. He used to like speak in quotes from Austin Powers. And I first watched a lot of those Austin Powers movies around the time I saw this too. I now have all 3 of them on digital files, thanks to stuff that I found digitally in various places. So yeah, I have the whole Austin Powers trilogy, digital versions. I can just watch wherever I want to. I don't know what I'm talking about. So why did I get to talking about Austin Powers when playing a Spyro game? That's a Spyro game. It's like, this is very like mind-numbing right now. We're trying to figure out a way. It's not exactly mind-numbing, because this isn't mindless action. It's actually the opposite of that, actually. It's actually, uses a lot of brain power to figure out how we're gonna go jump and kick down that enemy. Or kick down these, what do you call these Rhinox? Yeah, they're called Rhinox. I was trying to remember what they were called for a sec. I often get them mixed up with Riptox, which are very similar to these Rhinox, and they were the main enemies that we see in Spyro 4. They're pretty much Ripto's versions of these, because Ripto returns in Spyro 4. I'm not sure if I'll ever do a Let's Play of Spyro 4, and even then, I don't think most people know that's what happens in Spyro 4. Spyro 4 doesn't really make much sense in terms of the overall continuity of the Spyro series. A lot of people don't consider it to be a true canon game in the Spyro series, and I can definitely see why. Most people don't consider most of the Spyro games that came after Spyro 3 to be canon to anything in Spyro anyways. Spyro 3 is where it truly ended. And a lot of people like to pretend that nothing else in the series exists. Everything else is just a money grab, which is exactly what Spyro 4 was, a money grab. They made it because they just wanted a little more money. That's why Disney made all those Star Wars movies, because they just wanted a little more money. They just want to milk a franchise that's already been milked to death for marketing and for toys and promotions and stuff like that, and for all sorts of promotional crap and stuff. And yet Disney just wanted more of it because they're greedy. Disney's a very greedy company, a greedy, unethical company. I hope they lose one day. And I hope that happens after I buy another subscription to Disney Plus. I'd still like to have another month of Disney Plus. Maybe I haven't had Disney Plus in over 3 years, but I'm still interested in maybe watching something on there eventually, or I don't know. So where do we jump from up here? That's a fair to jump. It's not up there. Well, you could go to like first person and play this game as if you were playing Jumping Flash. Really cool. They like integrate a whole segment of like a whole like Jumping Flashes, but just made it like a segment in this game. Or better yet, they could have just downright put Robert from Jumping Flash into this game. Just threw him into this game. Just randomly throw Robin in there. Why not stop there? Why not throw other odd characters in there? Why not just randomly throw Paul Blart into this game? The Paul Blart Ball Cop just randomly thrown into this game. That's usually the first movie I watch during the holiday season is Paul Blart. It's like a tradition I have that I watch that movie after watching the local Christmas parade in my town. And then I go to watch that movie. It's set on Black Friday, which is when the Christmas parade usually happens. And that's usually when the Christmas season begins. Black Friday is actually a pretty deadly time of year for a lot of people. I don't like taking part in Black Friday. It's just a way to get people to buy more stuff. And I already have tons of stuff as is. I already have tons of crap in my home as is. I don't need to buy any more stuff. A lot of stuff I get now is digital over the internet. Digital presents, digital gifts. All the gifts I get now are just fan art of my characters that I have. I remember like nearly 2 years ago now, I got one of the greatest fan art Christmas gifts I ever got, which is that time that kid, his name was Milk 100, Sweeney Boy, where he commissioned some Australian artist. His name was the Dark Dragon Deception to paint Captain Fusion, Jason, and Mason on something. Yeah, it was really good. It was a nice, pleasant surprise. It's from a fan I didn't even know I had. What a hero, and I didn't even know his name at the time. Sometimes those are the best heroes around, the people we never get to know. I bet there's a lot of people who worked on this game or did stuff for this game that never got credited for it. And it's like, what a hero, and we may never know their name. Sometimes it's better that way. Like, I remember I had a teacher in college that worked on Batman and Robin, and it was unknown if who was going to get credited in the movie, and he was not. I don't think he got credit for being in the movie, and he was actually lucky for that, considering what people think of Batman and Robin. A lot of people seem to hate that movie. I don't think it's one of the worst movies ever, but a lot of people still think it's, pretty bad considering how Batman movies could go. And so I think there's still some more stuff to get in this level, some gems and then there's some mini games that we're going to be introduced to skateboarding in a bit soon too, because we're introduced to skateboarding in this game. And we kind of knew there was going to be skateboarding in the game, because it's on the European cover of the game, shows Spyro on a skateboard. And I think on the disc it even it might show that to your, I don't remember now, I don't even remember what the disc of Spyro 3 looks like. I know mine's full color, because mine was the original black label release of the game. I don't know what the green labeled version looks like, so I never owned a physical green labeled copy of Spyro 3. There's this guy getting chased around, this citizen. There's called Citizen this, Citizen that. And there's the mayor, the named mayor or something. He said that these Rhinox imprisoned the mayor, and then we have to go rescue their mayor. Who likes rescuing the mayor anyway? I can see why a lot of the time people think mayors are corrupt people. I remember the mayor of my city was corrupt once, and then later he got to be in some sort of TV studio where a former friend of mine went there and actually got into a fight with him, and he got fired from his job at the TV studio for that. I thought that was freaking hilarious. I still laugh at that to this very day. It's funny getting into a fight with someone. It would have been funnier too. If this happened in a TV studio, it would have been funnier too if they actually filmed it and ended up airing on live TV. Then it would become a form of lost media. It probably would. And look at that. We rescued Sanders. Colonel Sanders. What is it? Are you chicken? Like Colonel Sanders from Spaceballs. This can't tell if that's the ugliest chicken he's ever seen. That's not a chicken, it's a dragon. But then again, they're probably similar. I mean, dragons are somewhat similar to dinosaurs. And I know chickens are related to dinosaurs too. Look at that, they threw another one up right there. We have 10 lives now. Just running through, collecting. And now we're gonna see the skate park, the skate park. There's a skate park nearby me. I've never been there before, mostly because I don't do skateboarding. I've never been skateboarding once in my life because I think I would suck at it, and it probably results in me breaking every bone in my body, and I'm not willing to take that risk. Unlike Tony Hawk or someone like that. At this game pretty much becomes like a Tony Hawk game. I know Tony Hawk games have started to become big around the time this game came out. Where they're like those games where you like ride a skateboard, you can do all sorts of tricks, and you get scored for it, and there's missions and stuff like that too. And I remember they were published by Activision, which also been published, and I think they also they developed by the same people who developed the PS1 Spider-Man game. That Spider-Man game was on PS1, N64, and Dreamcast, and PC. That's why they ran on the same engine. There's even a reference to, there's some Tony Hawk's Pro Skater references in that game, and you can even see it being played on a screen at one point during the Spider-Man game. So I wiped out there, but I don't think wiping out is bad. There's later going to be another challenge where you have to do all of this without wiping out. But that's not this challenge. We're also just collecting the gems too. I always try to provide coverage of me collecting as many gems as possible, because gems are directly linked to the progress of this game. There's skateboarding here. I missed one of those creatures. We saw those same creatures in Spyro 2. We saw them in the first level. Maybe they were trying to play. We saw them in the first level of Spyro 2. Now we're seeing them in the first level of this game. And this isn't really the first level, because it's the third level that I'm playing right now. But yeah, we saw things similar to this. We had to fry those things. It involves like using Spyro's new abilities and stuff like that. But this game, it's still like trying to demonstrate what this game's going to be. They probably put skateboarding here, because skateboarding was supposed to be a big part of what this game is. It's like, look, we get to do some skateboarding right off the bat. There were some demos for this game too. There was a demo for this game on Crash Bash, which I never played that specific demo for, so I don't know what's in it. But I'm pretty sure it might be something like this or something like that, so we could best demonstrate what we're going to be doing in the main game of Spyro for a year of the Dry. Spyro 3 is part of the most. It's not necessarily the best game in the series, but definitely is the most diverse in terms of gameplay. Later there's going to be parts where we have to go where we play as Sparks and it becomes like that arcade game Berserk. And then there's going to be parts where we like do the precursor to Ratchet and Clank and stuff like that. There's like so much variety in this game. They really wanted to cram a lot into this game. And I think they succeeded at it. They did a much better job of that than they did with Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. Star Wars Rebel Assault 2 is kind of like that. They tried to like put like a variety of different gameplay techniques into the game. It ended up falling flat on its head in some places. Some parts of the game are like nearly impossible. It wasn't really a bad game. It's not one of the best Star Wars games either. I did a Let's Play of that game over 4 years ago. And I still watch it every now and then. I like watching my Let's Plays, my old videos on YouTube. They're essentially historic documents. They're like historic pieces of history that deserve to be preserved so future generations can watch them. So Hunter's gonna tell us, oh yeah, that was great, and we get another egg for that. Yet another egg. We're gonna be collecting a lot. There's like nearly 150 something eggs in this game. I forget how many there were, but there's like that many. It's a lot more than 64 orbs that we had to collect in Spyro 2. That's gonna tell us about this other challenge, where you only have some time, but I think we're gonna be doing this in the next video. This is Ray Phoenix signing out.